What's the most unforgettable lesson a 5-year-old cancer survivor taught you? I work at Children's Hospital doing paperwork. Boring stuff. Filing insurance claims, updating patient records, nothing exciting. One Tuesday morning, this old guy gets wheeled into the cancer ward by mistake. George, 82 years old, just had a stroke. The hospital was completely packed, like every bed was full. So they stuck George in pediatric oncology until a real room opened up. Poor guy looked confused as hell sitting there with SpongeBob wallpaper and toy trains on his nightstand. George couldn't remember much after his stroke. Not his wife's name, not where he lived. Some days he'd ask nurses if his mom was coming to pick him up. It was heartbreaking watching this grown man's brain just glitch out. Then Riley showed up, 5 years old, bald from chemo, loud as a fire truck. This kid had more energy than a Red Bull factory. First thing he does is march up to George's bed and announce he's starting Operation Rewind. I had no idea what that meant, but Riley did. Every single day, this little guy would drag cardboard boxes and random hospital stuff into George's room. One day, he built a fake diner using IV stands and cafeteria trays. He made George pretend to order coffee and pie. Another day, Riley found salt packets from the cafeteria and a broken fan from storage. He dumped salt everywhere and turned on the fan. "Look, George, it's the beach. Remember beaches?" George just stared at first, but then started smiling. Riley would ask George questions like, "Do you remember driving cars?" Then he'd build a steering wheel out of paper plates. "Do you like music?" Then he'd hum songs until George hummed back. The crazy part was, it actually worked. George started talking more, started remembering little things, like how he preferred his coffee black, how he hated lima beans. Small stuff, but it was progress. One afternoon, Riley dragged this ancient record player from the hospital's donation pile. Thing looked like it was from the 1800s, but it worked. He found this old record and played Moon River in George's room. George started crying. Not sad crying, but happy crying. He said it was his wedding song, that he danced to it with someone named Edith 60 years ago. Riley clapped like George had just won the lottery. More memories started coming back. George remembered his hometown in Ohio. His favorite sandwich was liverwurst, which Riley thought was disgusting. He remembered having a dog named Rusty who chewed up his shoes. Riley would write everything down in this little notebook with crayons. Backup memories, he called them, in case your brain forgets again. 3 weeks later, Riley's cancer treatment was done. He got cleared to go home. George was getting moved to a real rehab center for old people. I figured that was the end of their friendship. On Riley's last day, he handed George this shoebox covered in stickers. Inside were hand-drawn pictures of every single thing they did together. The fake diner, the salt beach, the record player moment, everything. "Now you have backup memories," Riley told him, "in case your brain forgets again." George taped every single drawing to his new room walls at the rehab center. And here's the crazy part. Every Thursday at 3 p.m. he started hosting memory missions for other stroke patients, teaching them Riley's games, using cardboard and imagination to help their brains remember stuff. 6 months later, George called the hospital. His memory was almost completely back. He wanted Riley's address to send him a thank you card. Turns out George used to be an elementary school teacher before he retired. He knew how to help kids learn, but he never thought a kid could help him remember how to live again.